Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. All right. I go live on TikTok as well. I gotta copy. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Check, check. Is my mic on? Yep. Excuse me. Oh, I got some coffee. I love coffee so much. I gotta be careful though, because I got a long box open down here. I don't want to pour coffee on it. All right. So, yeah, what do I want to do today? Today, I want to talk about some comics that are kind of trending this week. And also, I want to pull out some books I have in here. Here's a cool one. This one's actually really cool because this is was a it was a special variant done for Heroes Con, and that's the convention in Charlotte where I live, that I go to every year. And it's obviously an homage to Secret Wars 8. Excuse me. Really cool book, a little bit valuable. I think it's worth like $50. Pretty cool. Hi, how's it going, King? King 95. How you doing, man? We're gonna talk about comics. I think I want to take a look at the the Fantastic Four trailer. I want to look at some of the stuff that's trending. Let's see what else I got here. So yeah, sometimes I look at these trending lists. They're a little bit meaningless because they change so much, and spec only goes so far in comics. Like uh, people had so much. Oh my god, people had like Dazzler. Was it? Is that what she was called? The Dazzler, X Men. Yeah, everybody thought Taylor Swift was going to be Dazzler in the new Deadpool movie, and there was so much spec on that. And that book, first appearance of Dazzler, went up so much. It was up a lot last time I was at the con, and it turned out she wasn't in it. And now I feel like a lot of people regret the fact that they spent a ton of money in that book. So that's my feeling on spec in general in comics. But at the same time, it is interesting to see like this is you get a lot of tips here on like what's going to be in the Disney Plus shows and stuff like that. Like this one, this Paladin character, I guess 377% increase on copies sold this week, which I think is, I mean, that's pretty crazy, but maybe only 3 copies sold last week, so 700% increase wouldn't be that many. I wonder what that, I wonder what the actual difference is, because I'd never seen this key before. This is totally off my radar, and it's a $35 book. Anyway, I want to go through this list, see if there's anything on here I might want to pick up at Heroes Convention in Charlotte. What's up, Mr. Rager? What's up, Darwin? We're looking at some comics. I'm going to show some comics that of my own that I've got here in my long box that I got next to me, and yeah, we're gonna chill, have some coffee, and talk about comic books. So if you have any questions, and if you have any questions about any of the books behind me on the wall or anything like that, just let me know. Going back to this one, 320% increase in this book. I think I'm eventually gonna buy this. I mean, I have. Where is it? I have one of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man books. This is the one. This is like the highest selling book of all time, or something like that. I don't know, but this is the Spider-Man one, and this also has like a black cover variant. So, and I think about getting this book all the time. But it's just it's not super rare or anything, and it's not even like super valuable. Maybe it'll be more valuable one day, but this is the kind of book that got printed like crazy. And it's not. I just don't think it's going to be hard to come by. I don't know how many 9.8 star. Maybe I should look that up, but since I already have this one in my collection, I think I want to get the black version of this. Oh, and I actually have something else really cool related to this. Hold on. I've got these. So this is the Funko Pop, right? What's up, William? What's up, Jaden? So I've got these guys, and I've got this book, and I think I want to try to pick up the black spider variant of this. Or it's not a variant, it's issue number 13. How's it going, people? We're talking about comic books. We're talking about stuff that's trending, stuff I have in my collection. Here's a Miles Morales one right here. And we're looking at the trending comic books this week based on Key Comic Collector. So we're talking about this Todd McFarlane one right here. That's why I was showing some of my Todd McFarlane books. Going on this list, I don't really know anything about this. This looks crazy to me. Okay. And I knew this must be a recent comic. This is Punisher, The Punisher, and it's Punisher War Machine Part 1. That looks awesome. I don't know this writer or artist. This is during, 2018. So I remember this this is when Marvel was doing the whole renumbering thing. Oh, no, they're going back to the old numberings. I can't remember. This is a long time ago now. But this looks so cool. The Punisher with War Machine armor. And this had, let's see, a 243% increase in copies sold this week versus last week, which I think, but why is that? I have no idea. And it's only a $50 book, but maybe I'll look for that at the con here. I'll do that. $50 book. It's modern. Maybe that'll be worth a lot one day. This is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while, and it's only $30. This is a premium, right? Not a premium. Sorry. This is a steal. John Byrne, the Negative Space Spider-Man cover. I think this is this is Braun. No, this is not, this is the 80s. I love this book, and I still don't have it in my collection. So yeah, definitely gonna try to pick this one up at the con. I already have it favorited. How's it going, people? This one I really want in my collection. Now I'm not gonna get the $500 version of this. I always say this. I like to buy comic books that are. No, that's not that. I like to buy comic books that are significant, but not like in perfect condition. So a good example of that would be like here's one, right? So this is Avengers. I don't remember this is Avengers 10. So this is one of the first 10 Avengers issues ever. That's Kang right there. It's a Jack Kirby cover, which is pretty cool, I think. And it has a lot of problems, right? It has a lot of it's got a stain right there. It's got problems right here on the side, right? And it's just, it's not perfect. When I hold these like back like this, it looks pretty good, but it's not perfect. But I want to get these books in my collection. So if it looks good enough when it's sitting on the shelf like this, then I don't really care that it has some defects, So this is the kind of book I look to pick up in my collection. So going back to this book right here, this is a $500 book in high grade. And I'm not going to buy one that's worth that much. I'm going to go for one that's worth about $150, like a mid-grade book. I may even go less than that. I may even look for one that's around $100. It depends on what the problem is. If, for example, most of the problems on the back cover, I'm buying that book all day. I love that. Actually, one of the keys I just picked up, my first appearance of Kitty Pryde, I was looking for that forever because I didn't want to overspend on it, and I got one that had a date stamp on it, and it made it just a little bit cheaper. I think I ended up getting how much did I get that for? It's like $80 or something, $80 or $90, and I'm so happy I got it. And I like that I have the date stamp on it because it's kind of cool because it like kind of it dates it. So that's the kind of comic books I look for. What's up, Sam? How's it going? So yeah, I'm going over the trending comics this week. And I'm taking a look at what I'm gonna try to pick up at the con. What? Oh, this is first appearance of Vision. So this is a big book. This is one that and, I'm not. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch my view here. What am I doing? First appearance of Vision. I'm not a huge like Vision fan in particular. I think he's a cool character, but I haven't read a lot of comics with him in it. And if I haven't read a lot of comics, well, I've read comics with him in it, like Avengers and stuff like that. But if I don't know like a ton about the character, and I haven't read dedicated stories or limited series for them. I don't tend to spend a lot of money on keys for that character. And the Vision for me, this is a really cool cover. Who's the creative team here? This is like John Buscema or something. Yeah, John Buscema is the artist. So I mean, anytime you can get John Buscema art on a comic book, I think that's great. I think that's a good pickup. But I don't know enough about Vision to spend $380 on it. So that's not one that I'm gonna get. What's this? I kind of cover up. Oh, Dave Cockrum. This one's going up. I mean, oh yeah, Doom covers, right? So hold on. I just made a short about this other book today. This one right here. So this is my. Hold on, my camera's shaking over here. Hold on. Okay. Camera. This is my Fantastic Four 58, and it's just a key because this is a Jack Kirby cover with Doom on it. And these books lately have been selling really well, and maybe have gone up a little bit because everyone's anticipating uh, Robert Downey Jr. in the Avengers movie. I've always been I always like Doom. I think he's a cool character to collect. I read that Doom limited series that was a few years ago where I almost don't want to spoil it, but he like destroys a whole universe at the very end of the last issue when it was crazy. So yeah, Doctor Doom's pretty cool, and I'm guessing that's why this is like trending. I think. And it's Dave Cockrum cover, and Dave Cockrum's a really good artist. So, and I also like Storm a lot and the X-Men. So this is actually Doom and the X-Men, that crossover doesn't happen as much, especially earlier on. This is 81. I mean, Doom was more of a Fantastic Four villain. So that's cool. This one I have. So, okay, 175% increase in copies sold this week. This is the one I just got. First appearance of Kitty Pryde. This is Dark Phoenix Saga part 1, and first appearance of Emma Frost. So, you know what? This book only being worth this much is like, this is crazy. These are huge characters. Kitty Pryde is my favorite X-Men. I know no one says that Kitty Pryde is their favorite X-Men, but Kitty Pryde is my favorite X-Men. Actually, I have this book in my long box. I have so much stuff on top of it. I'm not going to pull that comic book out right now. Hey, if anyone's joining, I'm just talking about comic books. I might watch the Fantastic Four trailer and just give my thoughts on it. If you have any questions, if you want to know about, the kind of comic books I collect, if you want to know about the MCU and DCU, where the futures of those might go, but I'm a longtime comic book reader and collector. I have a really huge omnibus collection that's out of my loft over there. I have hundreds of omnibuses, and I read them all. I haven't read them all. I've read about 30%, but I read them every day. So anyway, if you want to talk comics with me and you want to come in the stream and or if you're watching the VOD later on YouTube or whatever it is, please comment and shoot me a like, and any interaction I really love. So what else we have here? Amazing Spider-Man 299, second cameo appearance of Venom. I don't really care about this book. First appearance of Venom would be different. And I don't like the ones that are like debatable firsts, So I don't know. Maybe I pick this up because I can get it for $45 in mid-grade at the convention. So I don't know. Maybe I pick that up. First appearance of Emperor Agril. I wonder if this is more because, or Argyle. Sorry, Argyle. I don't know. I wonder if that's more because of where I haven't watched the whole Invincible show yet. I'm on volume 10 of Invincible out of 12, and it's amazing. And I'm reading the whole thing. I have the whole Invincible in Ultimate Collection, but I wanted to like read the whole thing and finish the comic before I watch the show. So I actually don't know how far the show has gotten into the comic. I know I'm way past where the show is, but I'm so close to finishing. I think I'm just gonna finish the whole series and then I'm gonna watch the whole show. And everybody says they love it. My two brothers, they don't read comics, but they love Invincible. So yeah, maybe this is the kind of book I pick up at the convention. I don't know. Uh, this is, but that looks like Mark as yeah, because this is 144. I haven't even gotten to this issue yet. I'm on like issue 110 or 115 or something like that. I don't know. Ghost Rider. Rumor that Ghost Rider project is in development, possibly Halloween special. It's amazing that Marvel. Look at me. It's amazing that Marvel has not done Ghost Rider yet. Is that one of the ones they sold to Fox or something like that? Is that one of the ones that another studio owns or something? Because Ghost Rider is like one of the coolest Marvel characters. He's like the coolest anti-villain. And we had the Nicolas Cage movies, and that's it. Like, man, they're not doing enough with this character. And just like a Halloween special, come on. But maybe I picked this up. I actually would be more interested in getting the first appearance of Danny Ketch, that Ghost Rider book, because I'm reading that omnibus right now and it's really good. So we'll see. This one is in my price range on the very low end. This one I have actually. I think, yeah, I have it right here. So I've got this one right here. And this is the, what do they have? What do they write on here? They just put Death of Superman gatefold back cover. Anyway, this is like the iconic cover, right? Does he actually die? Yeah, Death of Superman. So this is the issue he dies in. This is the iconic cover. This book, though, I'll tell you this. This is a book that was printed a lot. They knew what they were doing when they did this Superman event, and they knew that they were gonna kill him off, and they were gonna print the crap out of this book, and they did, and this isn't hard to find. So mine is it has the signature by Brett Breeding, who's the artist, which maybe adds some value. I wish I had gotten Dan Jurgens' signature on it. I think if he comes to Heroes Con, like maybe I should just. I think he came last year and I didn't get it. I almost think about cracking this and getting Dan Jurgens' signature on here as well. But yeah, I have this, but yeah, it's a cool book. It's iconic. It's Death of Superman. But my point I'm trying to make is, this isn't really hard to find. It's like doesn't have like a ton of value, which is why this is showing as it's only a $15 book, which I think is probably fair. But I do think like if you're into collecting comics, this is a cool one to get, and like I think like, and that's part of the reason I got it. Like I think this is a cool one to put up on your shelf and like be like, yeah, that's the issue where Doomsday killed Superman, and it's just like this is an iconic image, So I still think that's like a cool book to have if you're collecting, if you're a comic book collector and you want to get like a cheaper key. All right, let's see, what else we got on here. Absolute Batman 1, $30. Look at that. Absolute Batman 1 is already more valuable than the Death of Superman. Yeah, okay, it's introduction of all this stuff, right? Because this is like a new universe. So, whatever. I mean, I have that book, obviously. I have this one. I have it over there. Did I get this one signed? Yes, I have this book signed by Chris Claremont. Actually, I'll grab it. All right, I'm back, and there's that book. Yeah. So this is Wolverine 1. I think this is the first, his first solo series, and mine is signed by Chris Claremont. So I'm not getting this graded because it has a lot of defects on the side there. Hard to see in camera, but They're there, trust me. But I did get the signed by Chris Claremont. Really cool. Also, I grabbed this one off the shelf too, just because we're talking about Doom earlier, and I made a video about Doctor Doom today. So if you watch my shorts, I did a whole history of Doctor Doom and talked about some really cool comics with Doctor Doom today. If you want to watch my short, but yeah, I pulled this one off too because I got this one signed by John Romita Jr., who is the artist, and this is an iconic cover featuring Iron Man and Doom, which is really cool. They actually end up going back in time to like Camelot in this issue, and they, hey man, how's it going? And they get stuck in the past. They have to work together to get back to the future. That's what goes on in here, but kind of a cool book. Let's see here. All right, going back to this list. So yeah, cool book. I already have it though, and I don't think I paid $100 for it. What do we have here? This is first appearance of Spider Girl. I know nothing about this character. Nothing. Copies ordered by retailers. So there's 29,000 out there. I couldn't tell you anything. This is definitely 90s though, right? Let's see. Yeah, 98. You can just tell like straight away when you look at the art, you can see that it's 90s art. Maybe I should look it up, but $125. I said this earlier, but like the way I go about collecting comic books is that I like to have actually read comics and have some knowledge about a character before I start spending big money on keys. If I don't know anything about, let's say, the Juggernaut, which I do, so I would buy Juggernaut keys. But if I'd never read anything with Juggernaut, even if I see a really cool Juggernaut book, I'm not going to add it to my collection because, and this is just the way I feel like that's a little disingenuous, But like, I love John Romita Jr. I love Iron Man. I love the Doom. So this stuff, Wolverine, I've read a ton of. Here's the Fantastic Four with Doctor Doom. I made the video on today. All this stuff is stuff that it's my bread and butter, really. All right, what else we got here? This is the trending 20 right now on Key Comic Collector. Oh, this is dope actually. Maybe, but you know what? Like, if this movie does well, this could be a really cool book to have. I think 100%. And this is the other thing: when you see these 100% increase in copies sold, remember like 100% of 5 is 10. 100% increase of 5 is 10. So I don't know how much that actually means, how many actually sold, but it does say it's trending. So, but yeah, this will be really cool if the movie does well. And I did a video going through the trailer, a YouTube video going through the trailer. So if you're interested in my reaction to that from like, a long-term comic book reader, what I think about it, what I think about Superman, go watch that video. This one, I don't have it in my collection yet. I've got some Wolverine keys, but I don't have this one. And I really like Joe Fixit here. Who came back in the recent Immortal Hulk run by Al Ewing, which was really cool. And $100 high end, I wouldn't spend $100 in this for sure. I would get one that is, probably in similar condition to this one right here. I'm going to see if you can see any of these. Yeah, okay. Now you can kind of see. There's a lot of defects on the left side. So it's a modern book, so you're not going to have like the paper quality of an old book that's really going to get worn down over time. But this for a modern book isn't in great condition. That's the kind of thing I would look for with this one, this Wolverine. But this is such a cool cover. I love the all blue cover with Joe Fixit and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool one. And then I don't know what the hell this is. So that's that. That was the trending 20. Let's see what else we here. Hotkeys. Is Invincible 19. Wow, $350 for this? I mean, I think about getting Invincible 1 in my collection, but I think Invincible 1 is like, let's see. Let's go. Invincible 1. Okay, Invincible 1, yeah, 1.1K in high grade. So low, we're talking, and this is a modern book. A modern book in low grade, I don't know if I can go that low on a modern book. But this book is worth 1.1K in high grade. So if I could get it around 300, maybe. I don't. That's the very upper limit on what I spend on comics. You'll see. I have some books behind me that are worth like I have like $1,000 book up there, maybe. I don't have. I have a huge collection, and I have so many keys. So from different for different characters. I have a lot of Silver Age. Like if you added up the value of all my Silver Age stuff, it's thousands and thousands, right? But like, I don't have any single book in my collection that's worth like 20K or anything like that. I just don't. But I know there are people out there that do, but I don't have any books that are worth that much. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say that I would maybe buy this at a convention if it was like if I had $300 left to blow and I was like and I found a really cool one, and maybe I'd buy it. So Invincible, yeah, Invincible's just doing great. Invincible returns. Oh yeah, this is interesting. They renumbered Invincible. I didn't even know they did this. Invincible Iron Man 1. I don't care about that book. I don't care about this book. Wow, a lot of Invincible on here, and Iron Man. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Invincible. This is the list that we want. What is this? $60 for this book is. I don't know why that book is valuable. I have this book. If you have any questions about comics, if you're just joining, or if you are interested in, the MCU or DCU, we're just talking comic books. I'm preparing for the Charlotte Convention Heroes Con here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm kind of looking through some of the trending comic books, and I'm showing off some of the books in my collection. All right. What's up, Frank? Moving on. I have this book. I'm surprised that this book is worth $40. I met the. Is this the one where I think I met Sanford Green at my comic book shop? And I think I even got it signed, which is kind of cool. And I didn't know this was going to be like a big thing, I guess. But I mean, the art in here is absolutely beautiful. This is a great book to own, I think. If you're a Doctor Doom fan, really cool book to own. So, and it's modern. So I don't, sometimes when I make sometimes my shorts, like I show like all of these like old Silver Age books. Like, I don't know. Here's a random one I grabbed. And I collect a lot of Silver Age. But like I've noticed that my shorts on TikTok, some of the ones that do better are more modern books. And I think maybe because even though as a collector I'm more interested in Silver Age comic books, I think a lot of people that are like fans of comics from like the MCU and from the TV shows and everything like that are more interested in the stuff that has happened more recently in comics, because I think a lot more of that stuff gets adapted. I mean, don't get me wrong. They take stuff all the way back from the Silver Age or even, I mean, I guess technically the Golden Age, but really, like for instance, the Fantastic Four movie that's going on here, that I think just came out or is coming out soon. They even like set that in a world that's like in the 60s or whatever to try to make it like, really old school, like the actual comic. I have a Fantastic Four book right here, actually, that I made a video on today. So what was I saying? I like Silver Age books, but I've noticed some of my shorts where I put the more modern stuff, it just does better. And I'm surprised because a lot of times those books are worth way less money, So I assume like if I show like a Avengers 10 or 2 or something like that, and it's worth like $200, that book, that's going to be like a big short that I make. And then I'll post a video about like a, I don't know, a random, I'm trying to think of one, like a race between Flash and Superman or something like that, a more modern book. And that one does way better. So who knows? I don't understand the TikTok algorithm. First appearance of Sentry, that's cool. And because we just got him in the Thunderbolts, which was an awesome movie. That's pretty great. And $100, I would never spend that much money on this book. I don't need to get a 9.8, but I would spend 30 on this all day long. I would even spend maybe a little more on that. Stillwater, I don't know anything about that. First appearance of Shia LaBeouf as Silver Surfer. Oh, this is cool because we're gonna get Shia LaBeouf in the Fantastic Four movie. And by the way, I was thinking about doing a quick reaction to this Fantastic Four trailer, maybe on stream. Um, I I'm not sure how that works with YouTube, but I think if I pause it enough and I just give my thoughts on it, I might take that and turn it into like a regular YouTube video. So, and by the way, if my mic, I haven't I changed some settings with my mic recently. So if someone's in here and I'm sounding like too quiet or too loud, comment and let me know, or in the VOD you can let me know, whatever. Let's see what else I got here. Oh yeah, going back to this, looking at some trending comics. I don't. This is the new, all new Venom. It looks cool. The covers look cool, but I haven't been reading this. I'm not really up to date on the current comics that are coming out. I'm reading the Absolute stuff. I'm reading the current run of the Avengers, and I have a lot of stuff. I have Immortal Thor that I'm way back. I'm way back on, and I have all the issues. I just haven't read them yet. So, I'm working on it, but I'm just not up to date on all of them. What is this? I don't care about that book. I have this one. I have it signed by who's the? I have it signed by Ron Garney and Matt Kint. I think. Yeah, I have the first. I have Berserker one signed by the writer, co-writer, and artist. I would love to get, and it's not graded, so potentially I could get Keanu Reeves' signature on this book, eventually, which would be like really. I mean, that's the that's the signature you need to make this book have any value. But alas, he doesn't come to Heroes Con. Spawn 5, first appearance Billy Kincaid. Can we get a Spawn movie, please? The one in the '90s was kind of cool, but it was very limited by the time. Let's see what Rob says. Oh, hey, how's it going, Rob? Yeah, modern covers are sexy. It's true. I agree, 100%. Yeah, the classics, and also like I think once you get into the Silver Age, you just start having so much appreciation for Silver Age, like for the artists that were around back then. Like one that I've really started to love is John Romita Sr. And I bought some old like Amazing Spider-Man John Romita Sr. comics recently. I'm not gonna go. I have a couple sitting over there. And I have a couple down here, but I don't feel like looking for them right now. But I really love John Romita Sr. and John Romita Jr. of course, but I've really gotten into that. But anyway, Silver Age artists like, and there's like back that was at a time where too like the styles varied more between artists, I think, and they were kind of making everything up, right? They had nothing to base their art on, whereas all the artists now have like decades and decades of stuff. So yeah, there's definitely something about that makes it really special. Invincible 51. Oh, introduction to Blue Suit. That's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna favorite that one. I don't know. I might pick that up. First appearance of Conquest. Wow, $120. I can't believe Invincible books have like they must have skyrocketed, man. I mean I know they were worth a lot for a while, but I can't believe how much first appearance of Conquest. I guess I mean and he's a cool character. Don't get me wrong. I'm 115 issues into Invincible right now, and I love it. But I just don't know if I'd pay that much for this. And they're coming the Battle Beast series, right? The spin-off of Invincible is going on right now in the comics, which is pretty cool. I have this book. First John Byrne artwork on Fantastic Four, really cool. And first appearance of Herbie, and we get Herbie. Oh, he's not in this trailer. But Herbie's going to be in the new Fantastic Four movie, which I think is, man, that is, it just, it tells me that they're trying to stay close to the comics. They're really trying to, you know, to make it like the Jack Kirby and Stan Lee era, stuff, and or John Byrne, whatever. And I'm excited for that. Yeah, this is after Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Herbie comes later with John Byrne, but I just mean like they're really doing it right. Like unlike the other Fantastic Four movies that we got that were like inspired by the material but not even like close. This is going to be a proper Fantastic Four movie with a proper Galactus. So I'm really excited for it. What else we got here? Sue Storm becomes Malice. That's kind of cool. It's a $4 book. First solo title series featuring Lobo. Lobo. Okay, this is a perfect example of a character that I think looks dope, but I've never read a comic like. I've probably read a comic where, I've read comics where the Lobo is involved, but I've never read like the Lobo series or anything. So I'm not gonna buy any Lobo keys right now because I need to read some before I like commit to buying and adding it to my collection. First appearance of Lobo. This is like perfectly in my price range for the con, but I'm just not gonna get it. All right, I have this one in my collection. That one's, that came out recently. All right, let's watch this. Let's react to this trailer. All right. Oh, do I have the volume from this? Hold on, I gotta make sure you can actually hear the volume from this. Add audio source. Oh, this is a virtual camera, right? Okay, so I don't have to do it here. I think if I...
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
If it's too loud, let me know.
Whatever. Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
Okay, so right at the beginning there, Franklin Richards, right? They show Franklin Richards in this trailer, which is so exciting. We're getting X-Men. If you don't know anything about Franklin Richards. Okay. He's an Omega level mutant. And see if there's this is Franklin Richards like creating a baby universe. Okay, he is an extremely powerful Omega level mutant. You see what Franklin Richards can do in terms of warping reality in the John Byrne run of Fantastic Four, and it's kind of crazy. And it's if you read like especially the classic Fantastic Four comics, and I think if you're gonna watch the movie, like I hope they capture this. It's trippy sci-fi stuff that happens, like weird out of this world sci-fi stuff. They're going into other dimensions. They're time traveling. They're there's the negative zone. And then there's stories where like Franklin Richards like he makes himself older. And often Mr. Fantastic has to use his greatest power, which is not his stretching, it's his brain, right? So to get them out of whatever scientific sci-fi crap that got into that week or in that comic. But yeah, Franklin Richards is an Omega level mutant who's really powerful, and you see him in the John Byrne run do some really cool stuff, reality warping and things like that.
It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
Shalabal, okay. Shalabal is the Fantastic Four. As the Silver Surfer. What do I think about that? Here's what I think. It doesn't bother me at all, and she does become the Silver Surfer at some point in comics. I was just looking at that earlier in the stream. But I just wonder why they did it. I wonder, like, are they going to bring in Norrin Radd somewhere else, or did they just want to include a woman role, which is fine if they wanted to do that. I just don't. I was just surprised by the choice. I don't have any issue with it. I just don't know why they wouldn't do Norrin Radd. Maybe they thought they already had, Norrin Radd in another Fantastic Four movie, and let's bring in a character, Shala Bal, because, for a very short time in the comics, she was the Silver Surfer. I don't know. Fantastic car. Oh my god, I'm pausing this so much. Okay. I'm happy they did. It still looks old school, but I'm happy they didn't do this Fantastic car. This one. The one that like breaks apart into pieces and stuff. Let's see if I can get a bigger image of that. Yeah. And there's obviously more modern versions of that. Like in the John Byrne run, they have a version of that. But I think it looks kind of stupid. If I'm being honest, look, I love Fantastic Four, but I'm not a big fan of this Fantastic car that breaks apart like that. I think it's kind of silly looking and campy. So I think this looks way better. So I think they did a good job on the Fantastic car here.
Whatever life throws at us.
Okay. This the thing is super powerful, man. And people don't know. I mean, yes, the Hulk is stronger. We know that. They fight in the comics, and the Hulk, so they usually fight to like a standstill, right? Neither one of them kills each other. So, but the Hulk is ultimately stronger. But don't undermine the Thing. He is super powerful. This reminds me of like a Superman shot, like from another movie. So I'm happy that they're showing how, like in the other movies, they show he's strong, but they don't show how strong he is. He's crazy powerful and durable and strong. So this is great. Okay.
We'll face it together.
There's Franklin Richards, man. If this kid grows up, or if he comes over to the proper MCU proper, he's going to be the most, forget Scarlet Witch. Franklin Richards is going to be the most powerful character in the MCU.
Johnny, now!
Okay, looks like
a family.
We've got Galactus coming. There's a Fantastic car.
Today,
The old
we
school
are your
cameras are
defenders.
great.
The four of us will face the danger.
Okay. Proper Galactus. Everybody got so mad in the first Fantastic Four movie where Chris Evans was the Human Torch, because Galactus in that movie was a giant cloud that ate worlds. And that is so freaking lame. And hold on, let me make sure my audio is still going here. Check. Yeah. But yeah, that's so lame. And I'm happy that we're going to get a real Galactus. Now, his shadow here looks huge. Galactus can be bigger than a planet, and he can be small enough to walk down the streets of New York. He can change his size. So if he does change size in the movie, that is like canon or whatever you want to call it, that's comics accurate. And Galactus is my favorite villain in Marvel. And a lot of people say Galactus isn't a villain, but he is, right? He is. He just doesn't like pontificate on his plots and stuff. He doesn't like to talk to people because he's above them. But Galactus is a villain, in my opinion. He consumes worlds, especially ones that have life, right? So
We'll protect you.
he's going to be an awesome Mr. Fantastic. Shala Bal again. There's Galactus.
Oh yeah!
Again, showing how strong the Thing is.
I finally knocked it off the list. The new spacesuits.
I take back every
This is funny.
single bad thing I've been saying about you.
So good trailer. They didn't. I noticed they don't show Mr. Fantastic stretching a lot, and I think that's okay. I mean, Mr. Fantastic's ability to stretch is like very secondary to his intelligence. That is what makes him so powerful. That's what allows him to do all the stuff he does. Yes, it's nice that he can stretch across the lab and grab a beaker or something, but that is, who cares about his stretching, right? I don't really care. And I think the stretching is kind of a thing that is hard to make look good on screen. it looks a little silly. Like they barely showed John Krasinski stretch at all. I think they for like half a second in one of the scenes right before Wanda kills him, he like kind of stretches into the scene. And I think it's because you can very quickly start looking a little wacky if you're stretching a lot. So I hope they don't have any really like crappy scenes where he's like stretching like crazy, you know? Well, he might. I mean, I don't know. I just think that ability is like not that important to the character of Mr. Fantastic. He could still be like a superhero without being able to stretch, in my opinion. But yeah, this looks amazing. This looks amazing.
In private.
And Pedro Pascal is he's an absolutely amazing actor. More coffee. Let's see here. Hello. Talking about comic books. If you're joining, we're talking about comic books. I've got some here on the desk. Maybe I'll pull some out of my long box here and just talk about some of the books I have in my collection. I did a lot of videos, a lot of my TikTok. Okay. Let's go back for a second. I have 2 sets of comic books to my left here. I have 2 boxes of stuff that I have not made any shorts on. I haven't made any videos on that I'm going to make new videos on my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And then I have another 2 boxes of books that I have already made content about. And I may go back and remake videos on some of these books because when I first started making these videos, I didn't go into as much detail. Also, you couldn't make 3-minute long videos on YouTube Shorts and stuff back then. And now all my shorts are 3 minutes long because like that's the max on YouTube and Instagram for Reels and Shorts. So I might want to go back and make videos on some of these old books and like go into more detail. So even though I've already made videos on them, I think I may bring them back. Though I still have so many books I haven't made videos on yet, so I don't really need to do that anytime soon. But there were some really cool videos that I just did really short shorts on that I would love to revisit and talk more about. All right, let me put this back here. Actually, we'll leave that. I'm gonna put my slab back up. There we go. It's safe up there. All right. Let's see. What are we doing now? It's a hot 10. We can look at the spec deck real quick. So we looked at this one. Oh, this is kind of cool. Rumor that we might get Friday in human form in Vision Quest. Friday is a cool... I like Friday because I think Friday has a Irish accent. It's either Irish or Scottish or something. And I that's like one of my favorite accents. So that's kind of cool. And this is the first appearance of Friday as an artificial intelligence. For $3, maybe I pick that up. I don't know. And I mean, Friday's in the MCU just for that one movie, I think, but still kind of cool. First appearance of Jocasta, created by Ultron as a companion. So there's someone that's... Wow, there's a lot of characters that are rumored for Vision Quest. But I think Ultron is going to come back in Vision Quest. I think they've hinted at that, or I've read that somewhere. Or I don't know, someone else. Maybe I watched someone else's video that said that, which would be awesome. And because Ultron is like a character that is like a staple of Marvel in terms of a villain, and he hasn't been around in a while, but I read the Age of Ultron actual comic book run, and I thought that was pretty good. It's nothing like the MCU movies, which is fine. They kind of went with their own direction with that, but he could you know, if you're gonna bring any villain back, you could definitely bring Ultron back, because you could just say that he, you know, put part of his AI, sorted off on some server somewhere, and, you know, bided his time to come back. So it wouldn't be hard to come up with a way to get Ultron back in the MCU. So that would be cool. And this is the first appearance of a character that's going to be in Vision Quest. So that's kind of cool. Wow, look at this. 1.3K. What is his first appearance of Mac Gargan? He becomes Scorpion in The Amazing Spider-Man 20. So this is kind of a first appearance of Scorpion, and it looks like Scorpion story arc will pick up in Spider-Man 4, which makes sense. The rumor, since the character was introduced in Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, okay. So this Mac Gargan guy must have been introduced in Spider-Man Homecoming. Wow, I didn't even pick that up. But this book is 1.3K, $130 low. So if that's accurate, and also, okay, who's the creative team on this book? That cover is not super appealing to me, but is it John? No, it's Steve Ditko. I mean, Steve Ditko is an amazing artist, and he was the first artist ever on Spider-Man. So of course it's Steve Ditko, because this is number 19. But I like the John Romita Sr. stuff a little more. First appearance of Tombstone. He was a crime boss. It looks like, oh, he's going to be in the Spider-Man Noir TV series. That's kind of cool. And this is Web of Spider-Man 36. I think this is probably in my omnibus that I have that I'm reading right now, actually. Yeah, it probably is. Oh, and writer Jerry Conway. And Jerry Conway is going to be at Heroes Con this year. So that's pretty cool. Cool cover. First appearance of Boomerang. Why would this be a spec thing? Rumored to be a villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Oh, but we've got Boomerang, and oh no, I'm thinking of Boomerang over at DC. So this is like Marvel Boomerang. Okay, that's interesting. $75. Wow, there's no way I'd pay that much for this, unless this is a Marie Severin cover. Oh, it's Jack Kirby. Okay, maybe Jack Kirby. That's a pretty cool Jack Kirby Hulk cover. I'll give you that. I don't know. Maybe I would pay $75 for this. Actually, I'm gonna do this because that's a really cool Hulk cover by Jack Kirby. I like it because it goes into my wish list here. I have 670 books on my wish list, and this is all the stuff that I got to take some stuff off here because I'm not going to buy this book, but maybe I buy that book. This is all the stuff that I hunt for at the conventions. So that's what I'm doing if I hit that. If you see me hit that heart. Oh, I have this book. Baby Joey. First appearance of Joseph Mason. And there's a vinyl toy labeled Baby Joey with the Superman movie logo. Has fans speculating that the character is the son of Metamorpho. Oh, okay. Well, I have this book, and the reason I have this book in my collection is because I absolutely hate Guy Gardner. So in the Superman movie, we've got Nathan Fillion, I think is his name. Yeah, he's playing Guy Gardner, and this is Guy Gardner with the hair like this and everything. Hold on, I just wanted to see that image bigger. Yeah, so Guy Gardner is like the worst Green Lantern ever. He is a nuisance, and I speak from only the experience of reading. You know, mostly I've read him in the Justice League International omnibuses, and he's so annoying in there. I guess he's powerful. I think he's even a Yellow Lantern for a while, but he's just a nuisance. And there's an issue where Batman just decks him, knocks him out in one punch, and it's the best thing ever. It's not this issue. It does look like it would be this one. It's not this one, but I like this issue just because Guy Gardner is like just got the crap knocked out of him. So, and cover showing that I want in my collection. First appearance of Lorna Dane, daughter of Magneto, who later takes up the name Polaris. That's pretty cool. Actually, this is a great book to look for. $90, and this is Jack Kirby, Stan Lee era. Really cool. I love Angel on there. And rumors circulating online that Neve Campbell has been cast as Polaris in an upcoming MCU project. That'd be cool. Let's get a proper Magneto in the MCU proper before we get to Polaris. Let's not Marvel. You can slow down a little bit. We don't need to like cram in a bunch of characters. Let's get like the main stuff going for the X-Men, and then we can worry about putting in Polaris. I have this book. Oh, see, this is a perfect example of DC not using their side characters good enough. Well, they remain side characters for a reason. This is such a cool character, Steel, and I don't know why they haven't made more. Why haven't they made more Steel content? He's awesome. He's dope. He's like Iron Man. And carries a huge hammer, and he's got like this 90s, all came out in the 90s, so this 90s art looks amazing. There's been some Steel limited series and stuff like that, but they haven't done that much with this character, and it really shows when you look at the fact that this book, the first appearance, is only worth $3. So DC really focuses on the Trinity, right? Like Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. And there's so many cool characters in DC that I don't think they let shine enough. Where Marvel lets their side with their other characters that they bring in shine a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, Batman is still my favorite superhero, but when you have characters like this, like waiting in the wings to be awesome, you're a little disappointed when their first appearance is only worth $3 because it just shows they haven't done enough with the character. First appearance of Dormammu. What's the spec on this? Charlize Theron rumored to reprise her role. Oh, because this is the first appearance of Clea. Yeah, right. So she showed up at the end of the last Doctor Strange movie, which is cool because Clea is a big part of for a long time. Clea is a staple of Doctor Strange comics, so it's cool that we actually get a Clea in the MCU. Wow, this is. See, 1.7K, but it's because it's the first appearance of Dormammu. Not really. Clea isn't what's bringing the big bucks to this book, but this is cool, and this is I believe this is probably Jack Kirby as well. Yeah, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Yeah, it's a cool Jack Kirby cover. And this is Strange Tales, right? So this is so that they had a Fantastic Four. Or actually, not even Fantastic Four, Human Torch and the Thing, and then another story was the Doctor Strange. First appearance of the Spider Queen. I don't really care about this. Oh, Young Avengers. First appearance of Tommy Shepard. Oh, this is the first appearance of Tommy Shepard as a young man, son of Scarlet Witch. I think. Oh, is this the other brother that we didn't see in the Disney Plus series? Is that why this is there's spec on this right now? Okay, we know why there's spec on this, right? Because of the Vision Quest show coming out. Second appearance, first cover of Gambit. This is the Gambit cover I want in my collection. Actually, okay, I already have it liked. This is way cooler than what I don't know why this is one of the ones that they argue if this is the first appearance or not. Right? I think it says second appearance, first cover. But actually, let's look real quick. Gambit. So what's the first appearance? So they say this is the first appearance of Gambit, right? He's not on the cover. And it says debatable at first. First issue is often cited as a cameo of Gambit, which would imply that the appearance is brief, although he appears in 15 panels throughout the book with at least 10 instances of dialogue. Okay, actually, Now that I've read that in full, I may change my opinion on this. If he's in 15 panels and has 10 instances of dialogue, this is the first appearance of Gambit. But you'll notice this book right here is worth $150, and this one right here is worth $50. So, and I don't really have much of a desire to get this in my collection, so I want to buy this book, I think. And it's his first cover, so it's still significant. But I get why people think the other one is his first appearance. Like you can't really argue that. And we know Channing Tatum's gonna be in the Avengers movie. This one I have in my collection, and I love it. And I love Kitty Pryde, my favorite X-Men. No, it's no one's favorite X-Men but me, but that's okay. I think her powers are really cool, and I've liked the character. I've liked the people that have played her in live action and stuff. First appearance of Annihilus. I read the Annihilus omnibus, or the Annihilation omnibus, and it was so freaking good. And I mean, it was a modern. Hi, Amanda. It was a modern. It's a modern run, but it's a good modern event. Like sometimes modern comic book events aren't very good. This one was amazing, and there was a lot of characters that. I mean, the whole Nova Corps gets basically wiped out, which is crazy. It's a war. It's a war in the entire like galaxy, and all against Annihilus, because for some reason the Fantastic Four will not stop building portals to the freaking negative zone. I don't understand why they keep building portals from the negative zone. Annihilus keeps coming out of there and other bad things, and they keep getting trapped in there. But for some reason, Reed Richards just loves building portals to the negative zone. So I don't know why, but this is the first appearance of Annihilus, and this is really cool, and this is totally in my price range if I get like a mid-range copy. So I'm definitely going to be looking to get this at the convention. This, I think I should buy this. I have not read it. I'm gonna get the collected edition for this. But I mean, this came out in 2020 and it's already worth $50. This is going to be a good book to have like in the future. I think people say this run is really good. And look at this. This looks like the child of like Dormammu. I know nothing about these characters. I just know from talking to people at comic book shops and from talking to other people that have read it and reviews I've seen online that this series is supposed to be really good. Skottie Young. I have a lot of Skottie Young comic books in my collection, so he's a good writer and he's a good artist. So yeah, I think I am gonna try to pick that book up at the convention. What do we got going on here? Clayface is gonna be in Creature Commandos, I guess. So this is the first appearance of Clayface. This is Matt Hagen Clayface though, because there's been multiple Clayfaces, I believe. This is a book that's probably out of my price range. I mean, I love this. Is like, it's the Silver Age, 1961. It's Batman, who's the creative team. Sheldon Moldoff and Bill Finger. Wow, Bill Finger, the creator, one of the creators who for years didn't get credited for the creation of Batman, but now he gets credit on everything. There's an interesting documentary about that. So Bill Finger, Sheldon Moldoff, I think it said, as the artist. I would love to buy this book, but I don't have the money for it, and I think like $200 for one that's truly in low grade. I just don't think I'm ever want to spend that much on one that's in that low grade. So cool book. Maybe one day when I get a couple of raises at work and I start buying more expensive comics or I trade up, I'll get that one in my collection. This one's awesome. I love Carmine Infantino's art. He did all these early Flash issues, and the covers are beautiful. And like, if you can find one of these that has this pink, like that's bright from this time still, I have some Flash books right here actually. Fantastic Four. Hold on. Here's one. Here is a Flash book, and this one is also Carmine Infantino. I don't know what this one is worth. I guess I could look it up real quick. What is this? Flash 153. No, we want issue. Flash 153. This is like a $200 book. Yeah, it says low 20, mid 80, high. This book is worth $200. Mine, I could talk about this forever. My Flash book isn't in perfect condition. You can see there's some defects there, and there's some stuff going on the sides. But this is the way I like to get these books in my collection. They do a lot of these two-tone covers where there's like two different colors, and also this cover is really cool because the Flash is literally punching the Reverse Flash into the future. So, and that does kind of happen in this if you read this story. So I thought this was a really cool cover by Carmine Infantino. And this is Eobard Thawne or Professor Zoom or the Reverse Flash. He's got a million names, but this is a really cool book. So anyway, I have some Flash in my collection. I'll put this one back. But all of that is to say, I really love Carmine Infantino's art, and this would be a great one to pick up. And like I said, if you can get one where that pink is like really popping still, if it's not super faded, remember old comics were printed on newsprint. But if you could get one that's in good condition, that would be great. I would display that probably. And it's the first appearance of Pied Piper, which is, kind of cool. Silver Age is like wacky villains just left and right. Pied Piper is such a wacky villain. I love wacky villains. I love like Stiltman, the Tarantula. There's like the Eraser who dressed up like as a giant pencil. I just did a video on that recently. Wacky villains, amazing. Love the Silver Age stuff. First appearance of the Watcher. Oh, this is really cool. Oh man, but this is. I looked at that price and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna get this one. But this is really cool. Jack Kirby Stanley. First appearance of the Watcher. I would love to buy that book eventually. This one, I for a long time I don't really understand why this Silver Sable is a big deal. Maybe that's because I haven't like read to that point in the comics. I'm reading the Black Suit Saga Spider-Man Omnibus right now. I don't know if he shows up there, but like this book is worth $90, and I have never understood why. Because I don't know anything about the Silver Sable, I'll be honest. Ron Frenz is the artist and Tom DeFalco. Those guys are all going to be at Heroes Con, and I've met them a bunch of times. They're really cool. So I could get this book, and I could get it signed by two of the creators. But I just don't know who the Silver Sable is, and I don't know if I should or not, and I don't know why this book is worth $90. So if anyone can enlighten me, if you're watching the VOD later and let me know, just let me know. Oh, wow, look at this. First appearance of Mr. Freeze. Wow. In that old school costume. Oh my God. I would love to buy this book. I love Mr. Freeze. In Arnold Schwarzenegger when he made all the puns and stuff. It's absolutely great. What are we at now? A little over an hour. All right. I think I'm going to end the stream here. If you're just joining, I'm about to end the stream, but I make content about comic books, and I post shorts like every weekend, and I post some during the week, and I make some videos. The last one I did was I was talking about the Superman trailer and stuff like that. So if you're interested in the take on that from someone who's been reading comic books for a long time and has a huge collection and stuff like that, you can go to my YouTube and see that there. And I'd always appreciate a like and a follow.